Hi everyone, today I have another speed build for you, of course. This time I am building a house based on the polls that I did on my Instagram the other day. I asked what size house between micro and small or medium and large, and it was actually 50-50, but I just made the decision to do a medium house. And then I also asked which colors I should use, brights or neutrals, and brights actually won. And then I asked what style of home should I build. Should I go with kind of traditional or more modern? And traditional actually won that vote. I was kind of surprised. I thought most people would be interested in the modern look of houses, but the only thing is, the problem that I came across with trying to base the build on those poll answers is that almost all of the brightly colored furniture and items were in the more modern style pieces. So when I was looking through at all of the different furniture pieces and everything, I found that most of the furniture had green swatches available. And so for some pieces, of course there's different tones of green. There's a more lime green shade, there's like pine green, there's like a true green and everything. And then there's also a lot of like teals and stuff. So I kind of had to work with it and just mix and match and everything. And I think it actually all came together pretty nicely. But before I realized that I was going to have to go a more green route with this house, you'll see that at first I was kind of going for different shades of blue around the exterior and everything. But when I was going through the furniture and everything to see like what other blue items or brightly colored items there were for a more traditional style of interior, there wasn't really a lot of things that could have gone well with the blue, at least in my opinion. So, and of course I didn't have to make the whole build based on one color, but in my goal of trying to make it look more traditional and then also brightly colored, I felt like green was the best option because, like I said, most of the more colorful items were modern. And when it came to the different swatches of the more traditional items, green was like the brighter option for almost all of them. So, and honestly, like after realizing that green was the common option for most of the things, I figured why not go with a kind of green themed house, and then that kind of adds to the challenge of it in a way. And I thought it would be cool, since I decided I wanted to call it like a green dream home, I put that kind of sunroom there as like a modern extension on the house. So I wanted to think of it as if originally the house was just that kind of basic square shape, and then when the family was growing, they added the extension of the sunroom and then the toddler's room above the sunroom. So of course you'll see me decorate the toddler's room later on, but yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe the family extended it and made it like kind of a modern extension in a way, but also as like an area for, I was thinking maybe the mom considers the sunroom kind of like her own personal greenhouse, but not really. So I put a bunch of plants and like the flower arrangement table and stuff, and so it's kind of like her way of being outside while inside. And then I also, for like the backyard area, there's not really a backyard, so I just put the back door there to kind of give them access to go outside and to the garage from a different part of the house rather than having to go out the front door all the time. So if they're in that like back area, like if the mom is doing her planting stuff or flower arrangements, that she can just go out through the back door to get to the garage if there's anything in the garage that she needs, because that's kind of their like junk room type. Like I put the laundry and everything out there. They got bikes in the garage. They have just like random boxes, holiday decorations, things like that. So I just wanted to give them another way to get to the garage other than having to go through the house and out the front door to get there. And then I also like have the garage separate from the house, because I feel like that's a little bit more old school or something, kind of like like the garage was added years later after the house was built because they wanted a place to put their car, but they couldn't add it to the house for whatever reason, maybe because the foundation, since the house is raised up. So yeah, I was thinking that maybe the garage was also an addition over time. You know, like I said, I wanted to appear as though the house was older, and originally, you know, it was just smaller and everything, and then the family built upon it after so many years. So, or kind of like the house was inherited like from grandparents or something like that, and you know, and they just decided to raise their family there and build upon it instead of moving into a different house. I have to be honest though, I really didn't know going into this build. I didn't know how it would turn out, other than the fact that I wanted it to be traditional, brightly colored, and medium size. I kind of went into this blind. Like, I didn't think about the layout of the house at all. I didn't think about what kind of landscaping I wanted to do at all. So I was really taking my time doing it, just kind of seeing how I felt and deciding where to go next from there. And, you know, I mean, I guess the yard is okay. I didn't really try to do anything super thought out for the landscaping. And I was trying not to stress out too much, but it took me probably almost 2 hours to get the outside of the house to a point where I thought it was okay before I started on the inside. And I was getting a little frustrated because I wanted to make this a fast build. I wanted it to be something that I just made really quickly, you know, with the kind of guidelines that I was going for. But yeah, it took me way longer than I expected it would. And I mean, I was kind of trying to take my time because I was feeling a little burnt out. Like I was, like, I don't know if anybody realizes how much thought actually goes into this whole process, but my head was just swirling with ideas, and I kept thinking, you know, about future builds that I wanted to do and other ideas I could think of. You know, I was so busy trying to think of everything that I needed to do and everything I wanted to do that for this build I actually forgot to put a mailbox. So if you download this off my gallery, you just have to add a mailbox in there, but I mean, super easy. Yeah, you know, I mean, the thought process that goes into this really is a lot, and you know, I mean, it's fun, don't get me wrong. I really enjoy doing it, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. But you know, especially since I'm still trying to learn things, like I still need to figure out how to use the different pool options or tools, and so I think my next goal is to try to figure out how to create a nice pool and everything in the yard. But you know, there's that. I'm still learning how to utilize the roof options, and you know, there's just a lot. There's so many things, especially in the game, that I've never even tried using, and some things that I don't even know how to do. So yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot to learn. It's a lot to consider, and especially if you're trying to go for any type of particular style, like you have to know more about the style of home that you're trying to create in order to create that. And I'm not any kind of professional in that area. I mean, I love watching HGTV. You know, that was one of the things I used to watch all the time when I was growing up. Like, I love interior design shows and you know, house renovation shows and house hunters and things like that. Like, I love that. I love seeing all the different types of homes, and like older homes compared to newer homes. And I love seeing the older homes, like Victorian homes and old bungalows, you know, things like that. Like, I love it. But when it comes to trying to create those things, I mean, I don't know exactly everything that's necessary in a house to make it be classified as one of those type of homes, you know what I mean? So like, I really want to try to do a Victorian home sometime soon, but I know I definitely had to look up some reference pictures for those, because you know, there was a certain like look, and I just want to make sure that I'm able to capture that. So, but yeah, you know, it's just a lot goes into making these homes, and I really try to be like true to any type of style that I'm aiming for. And But at the same time, I don't always like to look up reference pictures because I kind of want to see what I can do on my own, just thinking about houses I've seen. And that's kind of what I did with this house, honestly. I didn't look at any reference pictures, and that's partially why it took me so long just to get the exterior of the house completed, because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I didn't know how to make it look like a more traditional home, since I wasn't looking at any traditional type homes in the first place, you know. So but you know, like I said, I think it ends up looking pretty good in the end. I actually almost scrapped this whole thing halfway through because I was getting kind of frustrated just in the fact that I was aiming to, you know, go for a brighter color palette, but then there wasn't a whole lot of traditional things that were brightly colored. But at the same time, I really like that I did that poll on my Instagram. I think it gave me a fun challenge that I probably wouldn't have tried otherwise. And I want to do more, honestly. I want to do more polls in the future, maybe for different things, like maybe ask more questions about builds that people are interested in to see what answers come up. So and if you don't follow me on Instagram, I'll put my handle here so you can see it. Give me a follow on Instagram and you can vote in the next poll that I do. But and I also, you know, I do sneak peeks and everything on my Instagram. Like anytime I'm building a house, or after I complete building the house, I'll put pictures of it on Instagram before I upload the video to YouTube. So you can always see what video is coming up if you're following me on Instagram. Okay, I'm gonna try to rush through the rest of this video. Even though this build took me over 5 hours to complete, I think I'm going to extra speed up the clips and get it over with because I just really don't have much else that I can say about this build other than the fact that I built it for a family of 5. There's a room for the parents, one room that I kind of designed for a female teenager, and then there's a room for the 2 toddlers. So like they share a room, so it's for a family of 5. Of course, if you download it, you can change out anything you want to change, the furniture, whatever. You can make it for only 2 kids, or you can stick an extra kid in the teenager's room, and if you want it for a family of 6 or something, it's up to you. But this is just how I designed it for the video, and to be honest, the parents' room is pretty unremarkable. I think the parents' room is actually the last room that I decorated for this build, and I was just so over it by the time I got to the parents' room that I just put the very, you know, like bare minimum of what they need in their room, and I called it a day. And I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna finish up, take the screenshots, and work on the video. And I actually even thought about putting off uploading my video, but I wanted to get the voiceover done and over with and put it up so I don't have to worry about it anymore, because I kept thinking about it, you know, even though I was trying to take a break from it. I mean, there's really nothing else for me to do right now other than watch YouTube myself. So I figure I'll put my video up and then I can start working on my next build and hopefully not be as stressed out. I think I'm probably gonna do another tiny home or something like that. I'm actually considering doing a starter home, so be on the lookout for that. That'll be coming up soon. I don't know, maybe tomorrow or the day after if I really take my time. But yeah, so the screenshots are coming up, and I hope you like this house, and be sure to give me a follow on Instagram. I will see you in the next one. Bye.